Hello, I'm back to play more LOK Digital. Last time we left off, I had just gotten enough keys to unlock the first bonus world, and it looks like there is another key requirement for a future one. But before we get into the bonus levels, I'm going to continue on with the regular story. Um, Whenever you start a new world, it introduces to you a new mechanic, and it seems like Infinity is going to be the new mechanic. Grieva? How do I spell it? I have to spell out Grieva with all of these extra 5 spaces by like typing out the BEs? That's crazy. Okay, so I think this B is going to have to go up to the side here. This BE is going to have to go up. Well, this BE is actually going to have to go across. Okay, this A actually exists, so I can use it for Grieva. But if I make a like chain of question mark blocks, I could spell out Grieva. So that just means that I have to get rid of this A, this L, and these E's. Well, I think this is the only like letter that I can start with. This BE could allow me to put a question mark block here, which allows me to connect through here to make another BE. Where would the next question mark block go? Does a question mark block even go somewhere else? I'm gonna have to like write out a letter. I could make a ta here, but I don't like that. I could... I'm seeing a T, L, A, and this could maybe be a K. Actually, if I question mark block through here, I can write out this BE through a conductor, question mark block up here, so that I can then write out a tlac by conducting through both of these. With the tlac, I can get rid of the M, and well, I guess I don't want to get rid of anything else, but this question mark block isn't necessary anymore, so I guess I can get rid of it. And then this lock can get rid of... Well, it doesn't need to get rid of anything for right now. Oh, it does. The S right here. Oh, hold on. That's what the tlac gets rid of. It's the Z and the S here, and then the lock gets rid of the M. That's my bad. The BE puts down a question mark block over here, and BE puts down a question mark block over here. So now I can loop around as many times as I want to spell out Grieva. I feel like my English teacher would have a heyday with that final cutscene. Is there like other spots that I can spell Grieva in now? I gotta know. Crazy that this game is only completed by like 3 people. Well, okay, the publishing team is a lot more than that, but it was a fun little game, honestly. A lot better than I expected it to be. And I've still got to go back and play the bonus worlds and stuff too. Olko? That's a new word? I just got a Steam achievement for freeing a bird. I need to find out ways to spell the word Olko in different things. Okay, so this is definitely going to have one. Oh no, it's already showing me the feather? Because like I'm assuming... Hold on, let me try spelling out Olko by going infinite in this level. So BE, we make a conductor, B Sorry, not a conductor. Yeah, we can just make a conductor. It doesn't need to be quantum. Conductor here, conductor here. And then we make TLAC to get rid of the ZL, LOK to get rid of the M, BE to make the conductors in the corner. And now let's spell out ULCO. Oh, right, I need to actually make them quantum, because I need to spell with them at the end. My bad. BE question mark. Where was the next one? Right, there's an order to this. My bad. I'm rushing myself. I'm excited. Question mark. We then spell out TLAC. Making those conductors. We spell out LOK to get rid of this M. Now make the last BEs. And now we can spell out OLOK. I guess it doesn't want me to free a second bird here. Yeah, okay, I guess not. All right, time to start from the very beginning and see if you can find out any ways to spell out OLOK. So this is like what makes puzzle games like this good is, well, not so much like the runbacks, like the Metroidvania-esque, oh, I have to go through all of the previous levels to figure out what I have and haven't done, because like I need to re-explore all of these levels under a new presumption of trying to find birds instead of just completing levels, which is cool, but it's also going through a lot of content. If there's a way to quickly swap between levels, like if I'm at level 1, can I just go to the next level? So good. Okay, that's fine then. That means that it's gonna be like easy to menu through all of the levels. Before I get carried away with OLOK and doing a few of the bonus worlds down here, let me do the bonus worlds from collecting all the keys up top here. New keyword? Oh. Interesting. Can you rotate them? You cannot. So then, how does this work? Hold on. Because I need the X to be at one of the junctions between these guys to be able to spell out the K. Oh, I guess just this works. And get rid of it? Okay, I was under the assumption that I had to get rid of all of the gray space as well, not just the white space. Oh my god, this is gonna make levels so much more difficult. I'm seeing an L, an O. Oh, it sucks that you can't like put them anywhere you want to be able to like reason about them. But I'm seeing a LOK down the left-hand side. I'm seeing a TL black as well. So LOK to get rid of 1, TLAC to get rid of 2, and TA to get rid of the last one. Nice. Alright, seems like this piece has to fit down here. Do I have extra space? Lots of it, actually. Well, not too much. I'll play around with the pieces in a bit. I just want to get like a feel for where I'd be going. This would spell out low, and then I don't have a way to snake back into the O unless I put an X above here. So I could write out low now using those letters, getting rid of the M and the S, and then I can make a TA to get rid of all the X's. Cool. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like it's really just choosing between the order of, do I want this on the top or on the bottom? I'm assuming I'd want to make a TLAC out of this, but there's no bounce that I have. Well, the bounce can actually come from this quantum spot right here by using the BE. So I can make a TLAC down here first and a TA second. So we BE first to get a question mark block up here to make our TLAC, and now we need to get the R and the S beside each other. How do I get that done? Because I can't have this go in reverse, because then the quantum spot doesn't line up. Can I have them be up above? Does that help out? I think this changes nothing, but... No, it does, but it's the S that I can't hit anymore. So like that doesn't work. I'm gonna go with the previous build that I had. Pushed a bit further. See if I can find out what needs to be done. Oh, right. The BE needs to be on the left-hand side. So we've got a tlack. How would I get these aligned with each other? Play around with the pieces a bit more before I stop the recording to try to figure it out. Let me move all the pieces back. So like tlack, like this just feels like it's the proper build. Okay, let me start from here and then move the pieces around afterwards. Oh, I can't put in the last one, otherwise it locks them in. Okay, so that creates a tlack through here and a taw afterwards, but again, it's the S. Oh, okay, I guess I can hit the question mark and oh, I'm overthinking it. I'm thinking that because I have a question mark, that means that there's a bunch of other conductors on the level and my taw has to be played on the conductor. It doesn't. I just need to play this tlack to get rid of the question mark and then the taw to get rid of the R. All right, so I'm seeing a TLA, but I won't be able to hit the K afterwards. I'm seeing an L, but I won't be able to hit the K afterwards. There's no LO that hits K. So I'm going to want a taw at some point. Is there anything else within here that I can make? Oh, conductors in the corner that I'm not seeing. So the L down here could eventually hit the OK. This T would want to hit... How would I get it out? It could hit the taw after the lock, but that doesn't work because like only one or the other can go. I need to get rid of the OK to hit the taw, or I need to get rid of the T to hit the lock. I'm seeing a lot of L's and O's. This feels like it's supposed to be a low-low. That's a low-low. There's a lock. There's a low-low, and I can eventually get a taw. Okay, so let me do the low-low first to get rid of a lot of the spaces, all the stuff down the middle. Let me do a lock to get rid of the Z, and then the TA to get rid of the conductors. All right, is this a full build? Nope, not even close. We've got an extra, how many spaces is that? 8 to work with. I'm seeing a lot of K's and O's, so it's either going to be low-lows or locks that I'm building a lot of. There's a lot of options here. I can make 2 taws at best, but oh, they're not always going to be separated. Okay, so if I do this, I've got 2 taws from the get-go. This lock can be made afterwards, and this lock can be made afterwards. So the taw to get rid of the U's feels good. Ooh, but if I get rid of the U's with a taw, then the second taw doesn't have anything to hit. I could make a tlack instead. Let's do a tlack there. But if I do that tlack... Hold on, let me build downwards instead with the tlack. So that I can then make a taw over here. Is there any way that I can get this lock to work out? So we've got a tlack going downwards, but I need a lock to start it. Or I guess I could start it with a taw instead. Let's run it. Taw, tlack. But then the 2 that it gets rid of too many spaces. So the tlack isn't the solution, or the tlack and the taw. Unless I do the tlack before I do the taw, or the lock hitting the U and then the taw hitting it afterwards. So I just need to figure out a way to make a lock out of this setup. If I shift everything off to the right, I get a LOO, but nothing else. And a low-low gets rid of too many spots. I can't do that. Well, if I did a low-low and a lock, that could work, but then I'm using the 2 L's, and I don't have 3 of them, so that doesn't work. And this L can't be used downwards, even if I had the K set up underneath it, because then I'd be playing the taw first, but I need to play the lock to hit one of the U's before I play the taw. Let's move this all down a bit. We can hit a taw here. There's not enough space to hit a lock up above it, though. Okay, so let's hit it. This hits a taw. This hits a lock. There's no way to hit a tlack, though, is the thing. Can I hit one more lock? No, because I need it to go up to the side. Well, I guess I could do this instead. Taw to hit a U. Wait, to hit a T? And then I lock twice? That doesn't look right, though. Yeah, this T is like load bearing. If I could find a way to get the A to be underneath this T. So the lock to be able to make the taw through it, but then I'm not able to put this O and K above this L. Can I do something like this instead? No, because then it brings me to the same problem that I had before. Oh, hold on. There's a lock to begin with. There's a taw here. But I don't get this L to hit another lock at the end. Do I need it to? How many TAs could I make like this? Taw into a lock into, there's not another taw unless I move this guy down. There we go. Okay, taw 1, hit the U's, taw 2, can't hit anything yet. If I hit a lock, I can hit the L, but that doesn't help me because then the taw has 2 things left to get rid of. I do think it's going to be a tlack upwards. Like, that's how this level is going to be solved. It's close. I feel like coming back to this later isn't going to give me any further insight. I'm just going to keep trying. This lock doesn't need to go upwards if I get it going off to the right instead. So if I move this up one more space, that would also work. But if I move it up one more space, I can't use this piece. That's fine for right now. So we've got a taw set up. We've got a lock set up. We've got a taw set up. Then this just goes wherever. I'll have to find a better spot for this in the future. So taw to start it out. Lock next. Taw. Right, I need to hit one more lock at the beginning. It's lock into taw into lock. Maybe there's another solution for it, but I'm going to look for this one first. Lock at the beginning, into a taw, into another lock. Doesn't work. This works? Hold on. Need everything to be over a bit to the side. I think I've already made this. I've already, made this build at some point. Just making it again. Taw 1, taw 2. Oh, this lock needs to be moved up, actually. My bad. I think I've had this exact build before. Taw, lock, taw, lock. Nope. Okay, so I've got this lock at the very beginning, which can hit one of the U's. Then I've got a taw to hit the U. Oh, my bad. This L doesn't match up with this O and K. I can't put in that last piece yet. Oh, that works. We've got a lock up top here and then a lock here. I'm not spelling out lock by putting this guy beside it. I'm spelling out a lock by using the extra O granted from the other piece. So lock at the beginning for a U, taw into a U, lock to hit. I thought I did this right, but no, I've got a few too many moves left over. So one taw is hitting one letter. The second taw is hitting two. Hold on. I'm gonna fully reset this level because I see the letter O, the letter L, and the letter OK again. Can I spell it O-lock on this level? I feel like this is where it has to end. If it begins here, I'd have to get an L at some point. But I can't get the L to fit in. And if I build it top to bottom, then I don't have enough letters. No, and I do. O-L-O-K. Now I just need to make a taw to allow myself to do that. Taw. O-lock. Am I doing something wrong? Is that not how you free birds? Or do you have to do it at the end of the level? Oh, I had 4 letters left over after the last taw, right? O-L-O-K. Maybe I can spell O-lock at the end, and that's how I'm like, that's a bonus solve, not the actual solve, but I'm getting the bonus solve before I find the actual solve. Let's try to build it again in the way that I had it before. I think this was the setup. There's a taw down here and a taw over here. So I started with a lock. But how do I make an O lock out of this at the same time? I would need this O and this K down here. Yeah, I think then I'm not able to make a lock to begin with. Maybe just 2 taws makes it work then. Taw on the U. No. Let me go back to the previous lengths that I had it at. Lock number 1. Into taw. Into a lock. What if I were to do something weird and I were to play a taw on something like the lock on something like the T, and then have the taw hit the U, then have the lock hit the A? No, that's not enough either. It's off by 1. Let me try making a tlack again and seeing if that gives me any insight. TL going downwards, hitting an A, hitting a K. There's no way to make a lock out of this though. So this gives me the opportunity to spell out tlack, but no lock. Unless I were to do this, but that's too big. Same with this. And I can't move this over to make a tlack going upwards. Unless I do a U, but then I can't get the K up top. I'll come back to this one later. Let's try level 7. Ooh, they get hard already? Wow. So I have to put down all of the pieces on the board. It's just what order do I want to put them in. I've got an extra conductor here, and the only spaces that these guys can go are here and here. So I have to decide, do I want this here, the set of conductors in the middle, or the set of conductors on the side? This feels better because I have more opportunities to bounce things around, so I'm going to leave it there. And I feel like I want to be able to bounce through the question marks as many times as I feel able to. Now it's just where I want to put the S and the A, but I don't think that really matters because the conductors can allow me to bounce them anywhere. Now I need to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters by only having a taw available to me and then these letters available to me. I'm seeing that I can make a ta to get rid of all of the x's at the end. And I can make a lolo to get rid of all of these. And then I just need to get rid of the m and the s somehow. If I make the ta through here, I can then make a tlac to get rid of these two. So I would replace this s up here. And now we write, hold on, starting here, a lolo. So LXOX LXO, lolo, without using this guy at all. We do the same thing. To write out the word tlac, get rid of these two, and then a ta to get rid of the conductors. And that one was supposed to be harder. Okay. Is this another one where you have to fill up all of the space? All but 3 places. Okay, so where are the options for me to place this guy? There's one here, and there's another one here. There are no other places that I can shimmy this block into, meaning I have to choose either this setup or this setup. And this one just doesn't look correct because the X's don't line up with each other. So I'm gonna assume that we start here. Now, if I wanted to get rid of a lot of spaces, I would probably want this X to be lined up with the rest of them. Have an X lined up down here, but then I'm not able to fit this guy in at all, which I guess I could put the last bounce over here. So now the X's are all mapped to like the same grid, if that makes sense. I can play a lock here, and then I'll be able to play some lolos wrapping through this area. Right. If I get rid of this, oh, how does that change things? So I'd want to play one lolo, I guess, through here, so that I can then play a ta to get rid of all of the conductors. So let me get rid of this space, and I think this, ooh, it's not that one. It'd be this lock instead. I don't like where this L is positioned anymore. Let me try it with this lock, just to see how far I can go. Because now the only things that are missing are me writing a low to get rid of this extra space here. Which, if I lock and place one here instead, so that I don't have an extra O along my path, I can wrap around. I can't wrap around yet because this space isn't filled out. Hold on. And I don't need to hit this K anymore. Right? No, I do, because that's where the second lock came from. See, because I can make a low early, but then that gets rid of the L that I would make the last lock out of. I feel like I need to rebuild. Let's try making this setup work somehow. So we have an X to bounce here. We have an X on this corner. I guess I'd need an X on this corner. This feels like a much weirder setup, but we'll give it a shot. I'm seeing an L that can bounce into an O, but nothing else. Yeah, no, never mind. This is not the setup. This is not it. If I put the piece up top, this guy here, this one here, maybe somehow this works. No, because I'm never going to be able to hit this OK from that side. And if I do this, the conductor is doing absolutely nothing unless I move this over, and then we're in the same state as we were before. What if I start with an LO on the corner? No, because then the conductors are out of position. I think there isn't too much of a puzzle to be had from, like, building the structure. I think the puzzle comes from this here. Let me try... This lock has to be the first thing. This ta has to be the last, so I'm not going to worry about it yet. What can I get rid of from the inside? Well, I want to be able to spell a low. And the only way of doing so is either by spending all of these letters, which now no longer gives me access to the lock from before, unless I go LO, but there's nothing for me to conduct this into the loop with. And this low, I would want to get rid of this extra white space in the center. Or I guess it could also get rid of this one, but then it's also hitting that O, so it doesn't work. So I think a lock is more likely, but then I need to find a way to make the low around the edges, but I can't with an extra O here unless I go LO. No, doesn't work. Is there any way to match this guy up at the top with something down below here? No, because it's one of the big pieces. Let me try with a conductor in a weird spot. Anything new that I can do here? So I can spell out this lock. This L doesn't branch into anything. This L doesn't branch into anything. Yeah, this isn't it. In before it actually is somehow. I'm gonna ruminate. I'll be back in a bit, guys. All right, about a minute later, and I figured out that I am falling into the same pit trap of trying to spell Lolo by going LO into the same LO again, when you can simply, after getting the two locks at the very beginning, type out, oh, that's the wrong LO that I used a different LO last time. I think I used these two. Okay, so I can start typing it out by starting with an L here, and then branching up to this conductor, and then picking up OLO afterwards for Lolo. And the ta to get the X's. Okay, last puzzle. What's 6 gonna be like? This one is one that I'm going to need more time on again. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I'm gonna keep recording from here because I've found the correct order of operations. I just need to find out how to build the structure to be able to let me do it. If you have a tlack set up, you can hit a U and an O at the same time, and then a ta to hit one of the U's, and then you've got L, O, and K to be able to hit the last O. Now I just need to find a way to make tlack, ta, and lock all at the same time without any conductors. All of the TL start from here, so I either need to build up or build down. Let's go with the build up option first. If I build up, I'm going to need to hit an A next, so I have the option of either putting it into the corner and building an A here, and then a K, having to get rid of the U, which means that I would need to write a lock first, which I don't know if that's possible unless I do this. Okay, so if I write down this lock first to get rid of this U, I now also have to get rid of the K or the OK first. So I wouldn't want to use this piece anymore. I would have to use this one, but this A comes out too far. Same with this K as well. So I would need to move this guy over. But if I move this guy off to the right at all, I would have to shift everything up by one to be able to get a lock that lines up with it, and that doesn't work. So I'm going to say that building up on the top is more difficult. Let's try building down instead, see if that leads us anywhere. We've got a TL. We're looking to make it an A. So I can either put down an A here and then a K afterwards, but then I have to make a lock somewhere, which if I'm putting down this K to cap it off with, because I can't do this one because it's too long, that means that I don't have the LOK to make a lock at the very beginning. In that case, I shouldn't be using this piece to build down. I should be using this piece instead. Now I can make a tlack right off the bat. Now I need to find a place to add a ta in somewhere. I can either put a TA here, because this tlack that goes down, let me put this guy in so you can see. The tlack that goes down will allow a ta to be built through it. But if I do that, there's no way that I can get this to create a lock, because I'd need to put it down in the bottom corner to get this L, O, and K to hit. Which then means that this doesn't feel correct. Like I should be moving this off to the right some. Maybe like here. And then instead of using this K, I can now use this K. I guess from the very get-go, I could have done that. But if I do this, then I'm not able to build any of the locks off to the right-hand side. There's never a world in which I can make the TL go here. Well, I guess I can, but then the K doesn't fit in properly. If I build it all the way over to the right, that doesn't offer me any new solutions, right? I could build TL in this direction. I haven't thought about building a tlack backwards yet, which isn't possible. What about building a TL forwards? I would put this A down. I could also put an A in its way, but then I need to cap it off with a K, and that doesn't work. If I write it like this, there's a tlack, but then there's no way to get the lock lined up with the O's down below. And there's no way to get this in place. Well, I guess I can move everything down by one. Then put this in here. So then I would just have to get rid of this U at some point and this T at some point. So a tlack goes down first, getting rid of a U and an O. A ta goes down afterwards, getting rid of a U. And a lock goes down, hitting an O. There we go. All right, I think that is this world complete, is it not? Ah, I just have to finish the overworld puzzle. I'm seeing, oh, I have to fit in the slots. I was thinking about matching these up to a grid over here. The only place that makes sense to bounce off of is over here, really. Then I can bounce a lock through here. Then I have a ta as well. I guess I need to actually... This might be better. We've got a lock, get rid of the K, and then a ta to get rid of all the conductors. There we go, another world complete. See you guys in the next one.